Hey YouTube, what's happening? Alright, so we're back at it with Ethereum. Just a real quick video because it's in a really good spot right now to possibly buy in for the next upside wave or trend. Um, so let's take a look real quick on the daily. We won't do a full analysis because I've been doing it in videos. You can go see. But essentially, long term, you have this. So let's look at this. You have this Elliott wave ends, then you have a correction, then you have this kind of like descending triangle bottoming pattern, right? Then it breaks out upside, and so out of these triangle patterns, I love these triangle patterns. That's what I trade most because they're very predictable. You know there's going to be a breakout somewhere between 2/3 from the base to this convergence point here called the cradle or the apex. And so you can see clearly about 2/3. It breaks out upside here real, so it's a real move. And then from there, if there's a website called the Pattern Site, this guy, he's tested these patterns on thousands of stocks over, I don't know, since like the 70s or something crazy. But you can get it down to statistics. And so, like, statistically, on a bottoming pattern triangle like this, if it breaks up real, you can expect approximately a 40% upside if it's real. And so you do have a zigzag here, which is normal. But if you go from the breakout to the top here, around 4,500, it's going to be about a 45% or a 40% move. And so that's what we're looking at again here. So you have that move, then you have another correction, right? And so you see my trend lines here. It's kind of another descending triangle pattern, right? And then you get to 2/3 from the base to the cradle. And instead of breaking out upside, what does it do? It breaks downside. So the correction continues. Then you have a pivot low here at the cradle, which is very common statistically. So you have the low, you have a pierce here. You see how this trough's way down here, but the activity bar, the red, is up here. That's a pierce. And you've clearly got support here. So it pierces their support. It comes back up. Kind of creates like this is kind of another descending triangle pattern here, and then it breaks up real. But it's not a real macro move. Because look, it busted. Then it came down all the way down here. And if you go to my previous videos, you'll see when it was around here, I'm like, okay, there's clearly support. Here's another pierce. And then there's support like right around here. You got these three touches. So clear support here. Then it moved up here, and I'm like, okay, that's nice. But I'm like, there's no reason to go long yet because I'm looking for a real breakup out of this trend line here. This is my action point. So I'm like, okay, this is a partial here. Let's see what happens. There's no reason to commit money to the market. I want to see the market commit. And I haven't seen that yet, but we're at a really good spot. I mean, look at this. Came down. There's a pierce there. And so I'm thinking like, okay, here's a partial. Then I see this red bar, and I'm like, okay, that's what I thought was going to happen. And then, bam, surprise, 2 bar upside move confirmation right there. Very confident move, but it's not above my line. I need that 2 bar up here. That's going to tell me it's real, and you can see that it's very clearly flirting with this trend line. But what I think is happening is it's trying to change sentiment. This is a bottoming. There's a lot of games and exchanges being played here. People exiting positions, people getting into positions for, they probably assume, for the next bull market and so forth. But you can very clearly see that it's really trying to get at this line here. Um, so let me blow this up for you. It's very close here. You see this? following very close. Now we've got this green bar here, and so let me look at the other the other indicators for confirmation. So why I think this might be a good spot to really pay attention for a 2-bar above this trend line is because, one, that's what I've been wanting, a 2-bar over this line, to know for sure that it's worth possibly putting some risk on the table and buying in for the long term to go back up to 4,500. You got the CCI here, it's in the blue, which is a good sign because once it breaks up out of the blue, then that is a confirmation of a breakout. These don't really tell you much. I mean, there's a bullish directional bias, but it's like, there's not really any volatility, and so the momentum here is slowing and so forth. It's not ideal to buy in right now. What I'm looking for is this to kind of approach the line a little bit more and then give me like a nice 2-bar upside of the line, a nice good break up out of the blue here on this. This momentum, this blue, will probably come back down to the 0 like here, and then I'm looking for another, when it breaks upside, I'm looking for it to go green again like this and then kind of slowly build. So I'm looking for this to come to 0 so that when it breaks out, I know it's the start of a move. And then when it actually breaks out, I'm looking for this volatility to kind of start going up. The directional index bias, I mean, if it's a real breakout, this green will clearly split apart from the red, and so that's fine. But I don't really care about that right now. Like, that'll take care of itself, and it's already kind of going up here. So, but what I'm looking for is kind of a reset here, and then a breakout here, and a real 2-bar breakout here, and then I'll think about putting some money on the table. But until then, I'm just hanging out because this could be flirting with this line, and then next thing you know, they're teasing you, right? Oh yeah, we're trying to go long, and then they slam the market downside against you and take your money. So you can do what you want. You can put some money on the table now and get more of the move if it does turn out real. Definitely use a tight stop just below here in case it goes downside, but that's not my style. When I clearly see the market commit, see these 2-bar, like for it to move a certain way like this is like bigger money. Like, you're not going to have like a bunch of retail investors dumping in 1,000, 5,000 and so forth and have like a massive green bar because they just don't have enough money to move the market like that. So that's why I'm looking for these 2-bar, 3-bar confirmations, because that's solid buying. Somebody's moving the market and they're doing it confidently. Like, look at this 4-bar downside move. This is a confident move. Somebody was clearly like, yeah, I have no doubt that I can put a lot of money in the market downside and I'm going to make out. Now, it didn't really go much further, but my guess is they probably went short somewhere up in here, pushed it down like 1 or 2 bars, and then the rest of the market, came in and kind of moved it more. And then they got out here. That's typically how it works. But on the macro, this is looking like, a good bottoming point because, like, it's not going to go below this. That wouldn't make any sense. So this is the start of the move on this bull market. So if it comes down anywhere, it's going to be here. But, like, I don't know, you got a Pierce, a nice move here. Now it could be something like this where it's just kind of, right, it's a bear market, so this is the move and this is the correction. So it could just be correcting and then it makes another leg down, but like I said, it wouldn't make sense unless this whole thing is crashing to go below all this. So my belief is that this is a solid like bottoming point and that it might go sideways before breaking up, but I don't think it's going to go too much lower because it doesn't make sense economically. But then again, my style's wait. I'm waiting for a breakup real here, and then I'm going to go long and just hold it. And on the next bear or bull market, it should make new highs. So I'm looking to get in like 2,000 ish and ride it up to about 5,000 ish. That's a double. That's like a double and a half. So definitely a solid move. But that's it. That's where we're at right now. It's in a good spot. So let's see what happens. And take it from there. So good luck with your trading, and definitely leave a like, share, comment, subscribe, etc. And good luck with your trading.